And we are live, everybody. Chef Eric Eisenbud here, the Grateful Chef. Welcome back to Playing in the Grateful Chef Kitchen with me, Eric Eisenbud, the Grateful Chef. Well, I already said that. There must be an echo in here. You know, I'm getting a little stir crazy, but we keep persevering. We keep cooking, keep doing things maybe we've wanted to do for a while. We're doing things that, our old standbys that we want to do again, things we've done that we may need some practice, stuff like that. Thank God that we have cooking because it keeps us active and moving and our brains going. So today, what are we doing? So today, let me take a step back. Hopefully you guys saw and enjoyed the sausage making segment that we did. It was a lot of fun. Part 1, part 2, part 1 grinding, part 2 seasoning and stuffing. That was really good. I learned a lot. I hope you guys did too. And today we are off to Puerto Rico. Arriba. Sorry. My friend Ephraim, my best friend Ephraim Reyes is guiding me along via phone calls and texts because today I'm going to do something I've never done before, but I've had at his house, and that is pernil. Pernil is awesome. Pernil is basically a pork shoulder. It is highly seasoned. It is slow roasted. The skin gets nice and crispy. The meat's super tender. It gets served with gandules and rice. So we've got gandules, which is a pigeon pea, and some rice, and some Goya tomato sauce, which is Spanish style, and some sazon. And we're going to make a sofrito, which we're going to do on another video, probably tomorrow. I don't think that's going to happen today, but probably tomorrow. We'll make the sofrito, and we'll make our rice. It's actually going to happen on the day that I cook this. So I'm either going to leave this overnight and cook it tomorrow, or I'm going to leave it for longer, maybe a day or two, and then we'll cook it. In the next couple of days, you're going to see this beautiful pork shoulder transform into pernil. So basically what we're doing today, really simple. We're making a seasoning paste, all right? Yes, I could do this in a food processor, but traditionalist that I am, I'm doing it in my mortar and pestle. Hopefully we won't make too much noise. What I have in my mortar and pestle, and what I've already crushed, is about 12, the recipe says 12, you know what? I won't sue you if you use 15 cloves of garlic. It's just like you need something, enough paste to cover this, and you need it highly seasoned. So I've crushed my 15 cloves of garlic or whatever, however much garlic you like in my mortar and pestle. Hopefully I'm not going to make too much noise. So that's been crushed. What I want to do is I want to add an abrasive. And what am I using? I am using coarse sea salt. You can use kosher salt. Again, it'll act as that abrasive, and it'll help break up the garlic and make it into a paste. Calls for 1.5 tablespoons. Ephraim had said maybe use some more, but that called for fine sea salt. Since I'm using the coarse sea salt, this tablespoon will actually equate into much more once it's ground down. I'm not even going to put it all in. How about that?
Did you just hand measure a tablespoon?
Yes, hand measured tablespoons. The more you cook, the more you practice.
The more you can hand measure?
The more you can get a feel for what a tablespoon and a teaspoon is. All right, so I can already see that, and I can hear that it is helping this garlic break down. See if Lynn can do a little flyby. I apologize if it's the noise is unbearable, but
actually adjusted your sound a little bit.
I'm good. Mortar and pestle really is great, and it actually bruises the garlic or whatever, and it helps release some of the delicious juice, garlic juice.
How do you know you're done?
We're looking to make a paste. So when this looks like a paste, that's when I know I'm done. I'm using a flattened spoon to scrape the sides, just like you would in a food processor. And again, you could do this in a food processor, no problem. So the next thing we're going to add, and it will act as yet another abrasive, is whole peppercorns. So guess what? I like pepper. I love it as a, so I'm going to add 2 teaspoons. And we'll see what we have at the end. If I want to add more, I will. So the garlic is actually going to help the, hopefully, help the peppercorns from bouncing all over the place. And this is why I actually used my larger mortar and pestle. So the first thing you want to do is crush it down. This way they will stop being round.
You know, I've done that before. I didn't realize I should smash them first.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
I can just feel, and once you feel it being a little less abrasive, you know that the peppercorns are broken down sufficiently.
So Denise said the sound isn't bad.
Good.
And Stephen Slotnick said, you're making them hungry. That's the goal.
That's what I do, Stephen. All right.
And for folks who just joined, what are you working on?
I'm making pernil for my friend Ephraim, who is guiding me in this. It is a typical Puerto Rican meal. All family meals, a lot of dinners and stuff. You know, they will always have a few things. Pernil is like one of them. Gandules and rice is the other, which I'll be making. And I'm making this stuff for the first time, and I'm pretty excited about it. All right, that is beautiful.
It smells really good. I think it's just the garlic, though.
Garlic, salt, pepper. All right, so the next thing I'm going to add, it actually called for oregano, dried oregano. I don't have any in the house. I'm not running out risking my life to go get dried oregano, so I'm using dried basil. Probably not traditional, but that was about a tablespoon.
They're both green.
Yep, they're both green.
Did Ephraim give his blessing on using basil?
Sure he did. So I add a little sweetness to it. All right, nice. Garlic.
Wow, that is pasty.
Basil. And what we're going to do, we'll thin out this paste with some, actually, I'm going to step out of the box for a second. Not just the frame, but the box. Oops. And I'm going to add my favorite seasoning for everything. That's the Boar's Night Out White Lightning. I love it on pork, so I'm thinking, why not add it to this? This is, you can go to boarsnightout.com and check it out. It's available at Ace Hardware stores. This is my absolute favorite. Well, I'm going to call it a pre-seasoning because typically my buddies at Boar's Night Out use that as a pre-seasoning and then go in with their other rubs. Or you can use this as a pre-seasoning and then go in with one of Phil Wingo's Pork Mafia rubs, you know, of which he's got a million different flavors. So, you know, my kitchen, my rules. This is what I'm doing today. All right. All right, the next ingredient, 2 more left. Vinegar is really important when you're doing pernil or you're doing a lot of Latin cuisines. You use vinegar in a different way than we do in American cuisine. But I know that vinegar will also help crisp the skin. So we're gonna dilute this paste a little bit with a little white wine vinegar. Ephraim says, you know, it doesn't have to be white wine vinegar. It could be regular vinegar. So now I'm just gonna break this up a little bit. I may need more. I may have to make another small batch to do what I want to do here. And then I'm going to add olive oil. Yeah, the idea is we want it to spread, and we also we're going to cut some nice slits in this pork, and we're going to I got my wooden spoon. I'm going to kind of cram it down there. All right, so we've got our paste. Oh, smells out of this world.
I'm gonna come in and take a look again.
Divine.
We're gonna come and take a look at your.
Yeah.
So that's
Beautiful. Garlic, black pepper, salt, basil, some Boar's Night Out seasoning, vinegar, and olive oil. But copious amounts of garlic.
and you substituted the basil for
The
oregano.
Yeah. All right. Now, here we have, this is almost an 11-pound pork shoulder from the front leg. They sell, this was at my Hispanic market. They label it as Pernil. There's a pork shoulder. Here is the front leg of the animal. There is the upper part, which is also considered the shoulder, that has the copa muscle that you would make capicola out of, more the neck meat up there. So this is from the lower portion. So what we are going to do, I'm going to take my trusty boning knife, and I'm going to create some slits. And typically, like if you're cutting skin, or that, you don't want to cut into the meat. This recipe, you do want to cut into the meat. Actually, I'm going to not do it in this container. I'm going to do it on the board and then sanitize my board. Here you can see the ball joint from the shoulder. In fact, I can take that out, but here, the ball joint's here. There's a bone that goes through to the shank. I patted it dry. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in with our knife and cut a slit. We've got to watch for the bones. Let's see. All right, so Ephraim said about a 1-inch slit. And do it all over. We're going to do it underneath as well. Real sharp knife is key here. Beautiful.
And does anybody have any questions about what he's doing? They're pretty quiet today.
Okay, that's fine. You know, listen. It's all good. So I've got my slits. Make sure we get under here.
So
We are going to go on the underside as well. I'll put a little slit in the meat here.
I wasn't paying close attention. So we're putting this all together today, and then how long does this sit?
Overnight or 2 days, however long you want to go. Something tells me that the longer the better. You know, it'll just continue to flavor the meat. So all right. So now we've got our slits cut in here, and we're going to go ahead and put in our seasoning. Actually, you know what? I'm going to flip it over. We'll do the cuts in the bottom, and then I'm going to put it back into the container I had it in, so it doesn't make a big mess on my cutting board. Many holes as you want.
So we'll probably have this on Thursday then?
Yeah. We'll see how, the cookie crumbles this week. All right. That's a beautiful thing. We'll start on this side. All right, so I'm going to take a little bit of the filling, and I'm just going to really poke it into the slits that I made. If you really want it to get down in there, like so. I try and make it last. I was gonna use my wooden spoon to kind of cram it in, but I don't think I need to. My finger's doing a great job. All right, it's got to feel around for the slits. Nice. You really want to put it in there. So this is rather than just seasoning the top of it. You just got to feel around where you put them in. If you need to go deeper on some, go for it.
John Brochu, do you sharpen your knives or use a service?
Oh, I sharpen them using a ceramic steel, Master Brochu. Because the ceramic steel will actually sharpen, not just align the microscopic, imperfections, which is what a regular steel does. So yeah, that's why I use the ceramic steel, a couple of passes, and it works great. All right, so I've filled the holes that I made on this side. I'm just gonna rub it all around.
I would say that you also know a knife guy here, that if you get to a point where you need a knife sharpener guy.
I do know a knife sharpener because, as much as I use knives, sometimes they get beyond what I can do to make them sharp again. All right. So you get the idea. We're putting it in the slits that I made. What I think I may do once we're off camera, I'm going to make a little bit more of the paste, because apparently I really want to cover this thing. So live and learn.
Okay. So from Jeremy Newsom, he said, will this go on the grill, smoker, or the oven?
This will go into a slow oven, like 300 degrees, for hours and hours and hours, and fill the house with the most wonderful porky smell. I suppose you could do it on a smoker or a pellet grill, but you really want to take its sweet time. I don't know, my friend Ephraim would know better, like if having a smoke flavor imparted in this is, sacrilege, or if it's fine. I'm guessing that they probably would have done this on an open fire at sometime in history, so I wouldn't be surprised. All right, so there we go. That's the technique. That's the idea. I'm going to make some more rub, or maybe just do some black pepper and some salt and some garlic, make something real quick and rub it to make sure it's got complete coverage. I'm going to cover it tightly in plastic wrap, and I'm going to put it in the refrigerator for at least a day, maybe 2 or 3. Who knows? But that's the plan. And then we'll come back. Part 2 will be the cooking and making the gandules y arroz. That is beans and rice.
Nice.
So anyway, as always, thanks for joining us, guys. We will see you soon. Be well, eat well, be kind, be nice, and love each other. That's all we have. And we'll see you on the next Grateful Chef video. Peace.